Hello guys, and welcome to the channel of absolute quality, and today we're going to be talking about the Destiny DLC. So obviously, since I have been laid up in the hospital, I'm a little late to this party here. I'm about a whole week and a half late to this party, but I kind of want to go over, some of the thoughts and my feelings about the Destiny DLC, what they did right, what they did wrong, what they could have done to make everything right instead of wrong. So first of all, we're going to talk about the story. So, obviously, we find out Osiris is alive. So we, not Zavala, Ikora is like, hey, go find him. Go get my freaking master back. Please, I want him. Okay, so first of all, the story delves you into this new area because you find Sagira, and it becomes this just hunt for Osiris, basically, and then hunt to kill that final boss. Now, where I want to begin with the story is how bland it is. It was not fun whatsoever, actually. It was really, really, really mind-numbing to go through. So, first of all, Destiny and Bungie and Activision have no idea how to make a story coherent at all and involve any emotional feeling whatsoever to any of the characters. There's no character development anywhere. Okay, there obviously we can see as the outside view that Ikora and Osiris have something going. They have some sort of relationship that we don't know about, and we know that because, we can see it, but we don't feel anything towards Osiris. I never felt like I had to save Osiris. I always knew in the back of my mind that Osiris is going to be fine because it's Destiny and they're guardians and no one dies, ever. You die and you get rezzed. That's all that happens. So, with that, it's ridiculous how Destiny and Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 don't know how to put together a very coherent story. It's absolutely mind-numbing to know that they can't do that. It's absolutely horrible. So, with that being said, there's your story. Really bland, really boring, not really fun at all, very mind-numbing like I said before. So now I want to talk about the lighthouse that was added with the DLC, so the new map that we got to get. Quite a good time. LOL. Never mind. The lighthouse is very small. It is really, really small compared to any of the other maps that we get or that we've had before. And there's one public event that happens on the lighthouse. One that I've experienced so far. I don't think there's any more. But literally it's the same one. I've done it 4 or 5 times now. It's boring yet again. And then you can't use your sparrow at all on the lighthouse, which is absolutely stupid. And I just want to get across the place. I understand there's jump pads everywhere, but dude, let me use my sparrow. I've got it for something. Like, come on. Please, let me use it for something. God dang it. So, I don't know. The lighthouse, it's just really small. It doesn't feel like a place where I want to sit and patrol all the time. So we're talking about, say, Earth. Okay, you've got Earth, and Earth is quite large. Now, if there were a lot more incentives and reward type things for doing, public events or missions on the actual areas that you're on, and rewards that were actually rewarding to the point where you had to grind a little bit for those rewards, but the grind wasn't boring. The grind wasn't super, super hard, but it was hard enough to where if you wanted to do it, you could. Earth is good. The size is good. There's a lot of space on Earth where Destiny could have made things a lot better, and it could have been a lot more fun to patrol Earth. But now you talk about the lighthouse. The lighthouse is really, really small, and you can't get across with the sparrow. It's stupid. There are a lot of hard enemies, which is kind of nice. I would say that's probably one of the best things they did was put those really hard enemies in everywhere, basically. There is a lot of stuff going on the lighthouse, like at all times. Now, I want to say that that is something that I did enjoy, because there was always something that was popping up. So there was either the Vex were holding Cabal prisoners, or this Time Lord popped in and you had to kill him before, you know, he withered out. You know, he couldn't control himself anymore out of the Infinite Forest, or all that other stuff. You know, the lighthouse, it's really active. It is really active, but because it's so small, there's no really change in scenery. It is quite boring on the lighthouse. And Brother Vance is also a very boring person. Not gonna lie, he's a wannabe Osiris. All right, now that we've talked about that, we've talked about the lighthouse. Let's go ahead and talk about the Infinite Forest, the other half of the DLC. So the Infinite Forest is the most boring thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I never want to freaking touch it again, but I have to for this video, and I'm gonna not, I hate myself. I hate those. Okay, so you know how the missions, those side missions that we got after we did all the stuff in the Infinite Forest anyways? Well, you go in, and you spend at least 10 to 15 minutes fighting through a bunch of crappy enemies to try and get to the mission. It's horrible. It is the worst thing I've ever done. It is so boring. The Infinite Forest, when you think of Infinite Forest, what do you think of? You think of a forest that just doesn't end, something that is always changing, random variables all the time, everything. Well, this Infinite Forest is kind of like that, except if you put that into perspective of a linear equation, when it goes from one point to the other. There is no variety within these, and the Infinite Forest is ass, honestly. Now, if there were, sectors that changed, flipped, switched, did a whole bunch of stuff, and it didn't have to spawn in, it might be different, where the Infinite Forest would be kind of screwy with you, because things would be honestly changing all the time. So like in the strike that you do for the new DLC that came out, there's blocks that spawn in, spawn out all the time. If stuff like that were to happen on just this regular land that we spawn in on, that would have been 10 times better compared to what we actually got, which was just a bunch of floating blocks spawning in that you had to clear every single enemy to get through. Pain in my ass. It's absolutely terrible. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate the Infinite Forest. Worst thing I've ever seen. Now let's go ahead and talk about Masterworks. Now Masterworks were added to the game. They're very hard to get. They're really grindy. But they do offer some sort of incentive for your favorite weapons. So when I say this is, you like this weapon. Say you like Antiope D or something. You like Antiope D, and you love it a lot. You use it all the time. You use it literally everywhere. And you think, man, this could really do a lot better if it had some sort of different perk here in this set. You get a Masterworks, you reroll your perks. You do that. And say you get something really good, and then you continue to use Antiope D. But say something you get really bad, and you're just like, I never want to touch this gun again. But it does offer an incentive for you to kind of grind to see if you can get the best roll on your weapon, to see if you can get a really good gun that does really well. So that's, a Masterworks, I think, were a good input. Now, they need to add them for probably armors as well. Armors and just armors, nothing, it's already on weapons. So if Masterworks were on weapons and armor, and they were just a little bit more common, not a whole lot. I'm not saying like you need Masterworks all the time. I'm saying just a tad more. Then maybe the Masterworks would be a really good addition to the game. But right now, they're all right. I mean, they're for your favorite guns. You need 10 to do one gun, and getting 10 is it's a time. It's a time. I'll tell you, it is. Trust me. So, with the Destiny DLC, there's a whole lot of other things to talk about. I'm not going to talk about them specifically or alone in their sense, because they're not really huge things. So we're talking about what added content, so extra the Osiris guns, so season 2 guns. We got what season 2 or shaders, we've got ships, all that stuff from Eververse, all the just extra stuff that we got with the DLC. So a lot of that stuff is basically the same, really. Some of the weapons are kind of nice that I've gotten so far. They're actually kind of a little bit more unique, I would say. They look a little bit different, and that's kind of nice because obviously I sit around with one gun for a long time. And if the gun is really boring and just looks like an average gun that I was just using before, then obviously I get a little bored. But if the gun looks a little different, performs a little bit different, it's kind of fun to use. And then, well, we got shaders. Shaders obviously are shaders. Just use them. And then you've got extra ships, emotes, all that other jazz, which is kind of cool. I mean, I say kind of cool because I'm not ever gonna spend money on it, so I'm just gonna wait for my character to level him up. Also, I want to talk about Xur. Xur did get something that is honestly, in my opinion, the greatest thing ever. And that is the Faded Ingram that he has. You can get one per week. These Faded Ingrams are fantastic because they're going to give you exotics that you don't have. And that is honestly 100% the best. So you go to Xur, you see that he's selling a weapon you don't have. You take that weapon. You see also that you get a Faded Ingram. You get the Faded Ingram. It also gives you a weapon you don't have. So it's kind of this extra exotic that you can get per week that is... It's kind of costly. It's almost 100. It's 97 shards, but it is really nice because it is something that you're not going to have, and that is 100% great. Unless you have everything, and then it will continue to duplicate for you, and then at that point it's not worth it to get those because you've already gotten everything else. There's probably something else I want to talk about, but I don't remember. So thank you guys for watching this video. It's a little bit longer, about 12 minutes. So Destiny DLC... My final thoughts on the DLC is that it is meh. Not great. Don't really enjoy the DLC because of the fact that it's basically just a reskin of other items in the game, and it's really small and kind of boring. So thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, and I will see you later.